In the following video, you will see me having removed the gas tank. That's because I was doing an air filter and spark plug install at the same time. You can probably do this install just fine without removing the gas tank. In fact, I am totally sure you can. But I just went ahead and did it while it was off. It worked well for me. You can do it your own way. But here's how you do it. Alright, it's time to start the digital guard dog install, the keyless ignition conversion. No more key. So clearly the first thing we need to do is get this off. 5mm bolts, 3 of them. We are going to completely remove the ignition switch. That's this one. This one. Do not want to lose these 3 Allen keys, or Allen bolts, that is. We do not want to lose these 3 Allen bolts. There's this cover. I'm actually not going to reuse this, so this is something I could potentially sell online, but I will probably just save it in a box for future. Okay, now we can unplug the ignition switch. Now, if I really wanted to scare you guys, I could show you how easy it is to jump start this bike. Really should do that. So, let me show you just how easy it is. You saw all I had to do to get to this ignition switch was remove those 3 screws and unplug the factory ignition switch, right? So, 2 of these wires. Okay. I've now turned the bike on with a pair of pliers. Oh, no. Let's try these 2. No. These 2. No. Nope. Okay, so I have to jump more than just 2. Anyways, clearly it doesn't take much to jump start this. If I connected the correct 4 wires on this thing, and one quick look at the wiring schematic, or just a little bit more with some jumper wires, and I would literally have this bike jump started. So, and they don't even have to have your gas tank off. They take these 3 screws off, reach above it, unplug this, and boom, they've got access to jump start your bike. This doesn't have steering lock in the US, so there goes your fancy little Indian down the road. It was nice while it lasted, wasn't it? So that is a very good reason to do this, if nothing else is. Okay, so I'm going to remove this whole housing so I can get to the back of the ignition switch. And, oh wait, maybe I can just do this one, and yeah, there we go. That's all I need to remove. Just remove the ignition switch from the center of this. Oh, I do have to remove the bracket. Okay. Okay, three bolts hold the bracket on. They are black Allen bolts. Keep wanting to call them Allen keys, but bolts. Set these aside. All we're doing is removing the bracket long enough to get the ignition switch out of this, because we are totally going to remove it from the bike. Go. There it is. This was the ignition switch. This is the whole thing. You show up with your own that you got a key for. You can literally plug it into the bike that you've just unplugged, start it with a key, have this thing dangling off the side while you steal somebody's bike. I really dislike vehicles made in this century that don't have chipped keys. Very uncool. Now you might say, but they could still do this after you do the install, because I'm going to literally plug the new harness into this. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip a big piece of heat shrink over this, and I'm going to heat shrink it down there. So It'll slow them down, it'll confuse them. This will be routed a little differently. Well, it can't go very far because, you know, it's tucked into this harness. I may cut it out of this harness and wrap it up a little bit higher. I can route it so it's over there. It'll be tucked up behind the gas tank more and away from prying eyes. In fact, that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this harness, peel it back all the way back to here, and then it's going to go straight that way. So it'll be up here behind the gas tank, not down here where it's easy to get to by removing 3 screws. If you don't think it's really this easy with the gas tank installed, go ahead and try it on your bike. I mean, maybe you'll have to remove these 3 screws and 3 more screws to get to it, but I guarantee you, you can do this very, very fast, especially if you brought like an impact, you know, yeah, a little battery powered impact gun, zap, 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 the 3 bolts are out, boom, yeah. Should have had a chipped key from the factory, if not a transponder like any other modern bike. I think Indian's just trying to make sure that these don't compete with their big twins, or their heavyweights as they call them. And that's not cool. It's a completely different class of bike. I would never own a heavyweight, at least not until I'm ready to retire. I like the fast, nimble Scout. Okay, that bracket's back in place. Now let's see about cutting this wire. It's a really nice heat, wire wrap on here. So it's not going to just tear. I've really got to use a... Oh, here we go. I have a Nolfa knife. Not much of one, but it's something. Try to do this without cutting any of my wires.
Make sure you don't cut any of your wires, and you'll be splicing or wondering why you've got a trouble code when you're paying the dealer a lot of money to go in there and splice the wire for you because you're too dense to realize that you can even do that. Kind of wrapped up around this one, so I'm going to come through here. There we go. I'm going to go all the way back.
There we go. All the way back. Now, just need to wrap these, and then poof, I can send that along that direction. That will put it right up under the gas tank, out of the way. Alright, this is the adapter harness that came with the kit for this bike. So here is my ignition switch, and there's the adapter. They plug together. It's the wrong gender, it doesn't latch together, so that's where my heat shrink tube is going to really come in handy to hold those two together. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed about that. It should have been. Actually, I think you could zip tie these. Yeah, you can run a zip tie around that. So I will track down some zip tie and run some zip tie through there before I heat shrink it. Okay, zip tie tracked down. Here we go. So yes, that's why that's like that. This will keep anybody from unplugging it easily. Anyways, anybody without a pair of dikes, I guess. Okay. There we go. It's cut. There we go. And now I can do the heat shrink over the top of this. Let's see if I can cut that a little cleaner, actually. Yeah, that's better. Now this is going to tuck up here and run that away. I've got this big cavity up here because I've changed the air box. I've got this cavity inside the forks. I believe that would be a good place to put this, or I may even put it like right there. Yeah, kind of like that actually. I pull the air box back off and I could screw it into that, make sure I get all the dirt and dust that I make doing that. I don't know. Yeah, because if I put it in there, it's bound to rattle. We'll see. I'll find somewhere to stick this. Up here it's going to get a good signal to the key fob, I think. I don't know. Maybe I want it more back here, because then it's going to really be near the key fobs that are in my pocket. It's got to have somewhere to secure it. Some more zip ties will do the trick. Okay, let's come up to the headlight now. And as you can tell, there's a bunch of wires in here. One of them is one that I need. So let's go to that. This is the other adapter harness that came with the bike. You can see there's some stuff in here in the middle, but you'll find a plug in here that matches this. So we unplug this plug, and this plugs into the middle of it. So plug in, click, plug this side in, click. Now this goes back to the guard dog. Easy peasy. So the guard dog has these nice wrapped harnesses that look a lot like factory, so it'll be coming, it's the thinner wire, it will come up along the factory wire. So I have some zip ties, and it will come up into here. Let's go ahead and actually do that right now, actually. And through the grommet on the back of the headlight housing, and poof, we simply plug her in now. Ta-da! There's that. Make sure the bike is in off mode. Okay. Next up, I figure out where to put my guard dog module. All right, pardon the poor lighting. Anyways, here's the heat shrink tube that I mentioned. This is the factory connector from the bike. This is the adapter harness that came with the guard dog, whatever it is. And here's the zip tie that's keeping the two together. Here's a chunk of very large heat shrink. I'm just going to slip that over the two of them like that. Maybe a little bit more this way. There we go. Want it nice and centered. Now I'm going to take a heat gun. I've got a very, very fancy one. And I'm going to turn the temperature down on it because it's currently set to 450 degrees for soldering. I'm going to set it to 190 degrees. Now,
heat and shrink. This is such large heat shrink that it's not going to shrink enough in some places, but over the connector itself it will certainly shrink enough. There we go, that's about as small as that's going to get. You can see the zip tie in the heat shrink. This is going to add a little bit of extra security. You won't be able to just unplug this connector and hotwire it. You'll have to cut off the heat shrink. Yeah, it's not much of a step, but it's something. There we go, you can see the connector shrunk in there. I'm doing a little section of this at a time, so it'll shrink evenly. Okay, that's as small as she gets. I'm trying to fold that up now. Nice. This is hard, so I'm going to get this hot again, and I can fold it shut too. Not quite there yet. Make this a little bit hotter. Get this really hot and it becomes gummy, and then even if it is too large, you can kind of fold it shut. Another trick would be to slide up some smaller heat shrink. Now this is shrunk down and shrink that over the end of this. But I didn't plan that far ahead, so. No, this is not hot enough yet. Maybe I should have done it the first time I shrank it.
Yep, good enough. Cool. So I'm gonna tape up these wires that I unwrapped.
Everything's taped up. Now I've got another piece right here. Also this joint.
There we go. It's all taped up like it was never there. I'm going to feed this forward. Under the throttle body. There we go, like it was never there. Now, where to stick my module? Okay, you know what? As goofy as it seems, I'm just going to stick the brain essentially where the ignition switch used to be. I ordered from the dealer the cover that goes on the other side of this bike. This cover, see, that's on the passenger side of the bike, if you can call it that. I'm going to put it on the driver's side of the bike. So it might take some modification to get it around this tube. Yeah, I'm going to grind off some of this down here. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh well. So, yeah, this one's got a big notch down here. So I've essentially got to cut out a notch right here to clear that. Oh, crap. But this one's shallower on the top, so it'll clear this harness that's sticking up. Well, crap, I don't have any tools to cut this with right now. Okay, to use this cover on this side, you can see I've got to cut this notch into here. I wonder what kind of metal's inside this chrome plating. Hopefully it, I may have to tape it up, you know, paint over whatever metal is underneath here. No big deal. That is something I will not be able to do today. Okay, it's got this black wire. I've got to run it to the battery ground. It's the only part that's left. Okay, and then this 2-pin wire is for an accessory switch. I won't be using it, so I can just bundle it up. Tie it up out of the way. Before I get too much farther, I'm going to go ahead and put the headlight back in. I have hooked up all the wires in there, as you saw. So I just need to figure out where the screw is. There it is. Hook my LED headlight back up. There we go. Everything still fits in there just fine. Go, done with the headlight. Now it's time to program the keyless module key fobs. So we're hooked up there, Disconnect the ignition key switch, yes. Accessory switch. Place the dog tag in manual mode to perform initial testing. Dog tag modes. Press and hold the center button until the LED goes out. Press the button 2 times quickly for manual mode. Until the LED goes out. 1, 2. Okay, blinked 5 times. That means we're in automatic mode. Okay. So we're going to do it again. 1, 2. We blinked twice. We're in manual mode. Okay, let's do that to the other key tag. 1, 2. Add the automatic mode. 1, 2. Blinks twice, we're in manual mode. Okay. Put the stop run switch in the stop position. Wait 30 seconds for the system to arm. Well, we've been there for a while. Put it in the run position and push the start button. Your bike should not start. Okay, let's go and try this. The bike's not going to start anyways because I don't have the gas tank on yet, but okay. Push the large black button on your dog tag until the LED lights up. Okay. Flip the run start. Hey, it worked. Okay. So, let's try the other one. Now, are we going to work? No. Okay. On doesn't work. Press the button. On works. Cool. Off. Now let's put these back in automatic mode. Light goes out. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 blinks. Okay. Same with this one. Hold it down until it stops blinking. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that means that these are automatic. I can leave them in my pocket, get on the bike. Let's give that a whirl. It's in my pocket. Walk up to the bike. It's on! What do you know? Cool. And if I took these more than 30 feet away, the bike will not start. I don't know if it's 30 feet, but yeah. Let's see for testing. Take all dog tags and place them 40 plus feet away from the bike, on the ground or other stationary surface. Wait 3 minutes. This allows system timers to go to sleep. Leaving the dog tags away from the bike, return to the bike and flip the stop run switch. Your bike should not energize. Leaving the stop run switch in the run position, walk over and pick up the dog tag. Gently rock it back and forth in your hand to activate the motion sensor. Then at your normal pace, walk back to your bike. When you come into system range, your bike will energize. This indicates the system's range as well as confirms that the system is working in automatic mode. Cool. Here it is completed. The cover over the old ignition area. So this is the cover that you'll see on this side of the bike. And as you can see, well, as you'll see in the video, it didn't fit initially. I made some modifications with a bandsaw and a bench grinder to get it to clear the housing. As you can see, it's mighty close, but it does clear. So, and from up here you can't even tell I did anything to it. So I don't even care that it's a little jagged. One last time to show this off. Got the little key fob on my keychain. So much like when I get in my modern car, I just leave this in my pocket. Yep, in my pocket. And I get on the bike, turn on the ignition. Ta-da! You just toggle this switch and it turns on and fire it up. I really like this new starter. Okay. And then when you get wherever you're going, just turn it off. Boom! It's off. Completely off, and I just walk away. Just simply toggle the switch off. I love it.